One game left, couple roster spots open. Let's talk preseason heroes. Who's on the bubble watch? And a new player at CB2. This is Victory Mondays. Let's go.
From the city of brotherly love! All day, baby. You know that.
Let's hunt.
If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground.
Where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight.
Give us nothing! Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
Let the games begin.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight! This is where they die!
Money is nice, championships are better.
Welcome, everybody, back for another episode of Victory Mondays. It's been a couple weeks, I think, since we've been back, but a lot of things have happened. I'm the player. I'm the host. They call me Moss Money. And, of course, I got my guy with me, my GM, Ernie B. What's up, bro?
Happy to be back, man.
Yes, sir. Football is here, doggy.
Yeah, a little break. It came back on us pretty fast, so I'm happy to dive into it. There's a lot to talk about. Our Eagles have made a couple moves since we've been able to chat about it, so I'm stoked.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's get right into it. Let's not wait. So I wonder what's the bigger story. Let me ask you, what's the bigger story? Is it Mukuba or Michi?
I think Mukuba did what I've talked about on the show that I said he was capable of. I've talked about him as his style of play.
Before you go, I want to make sure before I got to cut you off because I got to give credit where credit's due. I don't care where you see it, anybody. Baldy, Fourth and John. I'm trying to think. Philly. Anywhere you want to call it, the Ross Tucker report, wherever you want to call it, right here, Victory Mondays. Oh, that guy made the perfect comp, Mukuba and CJ Gardner-Johnson. It was here first. I'm just saying. Just saying. This is what we do. But my bad. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that, man. The reason why I stamped him as a Gardner-Johnson prototype was not specifically on his build. He's got a few more pounds he needs to put on his frame in order to kind of be as built as GJ is. But, I mean, Chauncey's been in the league a few years, so, a few more years with NFL trainers. But the way Mukuba plays, a nickel safety versatility and a Vic Fangio offense, I know it's been said over and over again, he has a knack for the football. That was showed. The split on the pick six was just it displayed everything I thought he was capable of.
It was pretty
able to split the defenders. It's almost as if Gabriel didn't see him because his slight frame allowed him to be hidden behind the bigger receivers. But Mukuba, he suffered a shoulder ding up with my guy Danny Gray early on in training camp, and he got sat down, had to miss some time. He was able to bounce back. This is his first, big time preseason action. He got to start him and Campbell out there.
Yep.
The first and second round picks of the Eagles. And I thought that they did exactly what they were supposed to do. When you draft a guy in the second round, he technically should be starting that year unless there's a veteran ahead of him who knows that his time is up at the end of the year. When a team invests a first or second round draft pick, they're really looking for immediate return. And I think that last year is almost a perfect example of how the draft can go perfect, for lack of a better word. Quinyon hit, Cooper hit, Jalix Hunt hit. We don't have to dive into it.
They all hit last year.
1 through 3 was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, where we are with 1 and 2, there's still some question marks. Obviously, these guys got to get on the field in real NFL game action, not preseason football. But I think Mukuba has done enough. In my opinion, I don't know if Vic Fangio agrees. I think he should be the starting safety opposite Reed Blankenship week 1. Sidney Brown has had a really good camp, so I can't knock him for that. It's more of Mukuba was a 2nd-round pick, Brown was a 3rd-round pick. But, I mean,
Gotta go to the tape. We gotta go to the tape. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go and finish. I'll go to the tape about
this is just a great play, but I watched him do this at Clemson and Texas. So to me, it's no surprise. I mean, Mukuba makes plays like this. He hasn't showed off his big hit ability yet, which is coming. Almost like a sacrificial body sense. He very similar to Sidney, just throws himself into the play a lot like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, like I had said before. Yeah. Makuba's read on this, he follows like he's supposed to. He breaks on the ball, like I said, like he's supposed to.
So film study time. So what I see in this play, though, is that I see a couple problems, right? Linebacker. Well, I'm not sure. Hold on, where we got? I think that's the Sam, right? So I wish I had a pointer. So on the defensive, on the strong side of the offense, it's almost like, it's not a waggle, but it's almost like a flood to the opposite side. All the linemen take a what they call a false step, which is they're going away from where the play is to kind of do the play action, right? And when you see that, you see, I don't know who's on the field from a linebacker. No, this has got to be a second play. So this is Campbell and Trotter.
Campbell and Trotter.
It
should be.
Is this second play of the game? So Campbell and Trotter are your linebackers. It looks like a base configuration defense. And then you have Sidney and Mukuba on the back. Sidney's to the left. If you're watching it, I'm sorry, to your right. And then to Makuba's up the top upper left corner.
Yeah, top of the screen is going to be Mukuba. Bottom of the screen is Brown. Correct. I believe that – I don't know who's starting at top corner there. I can't remember if at this point it was Mac McWilliams, but I believe it's Adoree Jackson down at the bottom. As far as
if you notice, the bottom right of the 20, you got 2 players in the same position spot.
Yep.
Because Sidney bites really hard on the play action.
Yes,
right? He does. He really hard on the play action. So if that top receiver – I'm going to say the X. You see him come up because whoever the corner is, he's giving him a huge cushion, right? That's almost 10
I think that's Adoree Jackson there.
Yeah, so huge cushion. So the receiver's got free range to run. If that's a skinny post, that's the touchdown. I don't care what it's.
Yeah. From this view. Yeah, from this view.
Yeah. 100%. Sidney's not covering that ground. It might be a PI. He might get back. I don't know. But I think he's beat. If the receiver keeps running. He might recover though. You got to. It'll be a good ball to drop it in, and he regardless he bit hard. But if you look at the upper 20, you can see Makuba's instincts in this play.
He's already in full sprint. I mean, look at his body. He's already in full sprint by the time.
Right. So his recovery is great. So he bites just as hard as Sidney does. Right. They come down almost 4 yards, and then he breaks. So if Gabriel hits the drag coming across the middle right there, that's probably a good pickup.
That's free money. Yeah, that's free money right there.
Because Makuba's back is to the receiver.
Yep.
Right. So, but he doesn't hit him right there.
Takes it away here. He takes away I guess you could call it initial read if it was supposed to be there. I think the play by structure, if I had to guess, was probably that corner route to the post that you talked about in the beginning.
Yeah. So if Gabriel throws it here, he's going to get his receiver crushed.
He's going to get him killed.
Yeah, he's going to get him killed. So he doesn't throw it. So he kind of drags. He should have took off, really. But the Browns, if you see where Mukuba is, the Browns have 3 guys in like the same spot. So it's just not it's a broken play.
Very preseason-esque.
Very preseason game. But the split, right, I think, who's that? Okay, so 86, if you see on the play action 86 coming across on play action. You see a little bit of push from the end right there. He gets behind the end a little bit. The end, I don't know. I guess the outside linebacker up there, I guess that's his man because it crosses his face. It would be. It would be his man because if he rushes the passer, that's a quick dump off, right? And then you got a guy who could block Mukuba, and you could maybe get a big gain right there, right? So not a bad play by the outside linebacker to make the quarterback make a decision. So he throws it anyway, and you can see Mukuba sneaking right between them two, right there, and it's cookies right there. We're out, right?
First career
we're
pick
out.
six.
Pick six, makes one little play, juke move, and then we're out. Second play of the game, beautiful play, beautiful recognition. But what I wanted to show this here is that, to Ernie B's point, just the guy's recognition and knack for the ball and being a ball hawk.
How would you determine that? Like, me from a guy who's not on the field, you from a guy who's played in the trenches. When you got a defensive back that has a knack for the football, is there a better way to put it? I mean, the only thing I can think of is the kid's just a baller. You know what I mean? Like, he understands where the ball is going to go, and his body is moving to that point almost seemingly before he can think. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to grant Mukuba as this all-star, all-pro, pro ball. I'm just I think this was the first time we were able to see what I have said before, which was I firmly believe this dude plays like Gardner Johnson did in this defense, and like he still will. Gardner Johnson's still young, he's still a good football player, but I just think that just because we drafted him in the second round, everybody thought right from day one this kid was just going to hit the ground running. His frame is not set for that, as well as he was pick 64, man. I mean, this isn't, he wasn't pick 33 saying, second round pick, this kid's got to get on the field. Everything I've told you this kid can do, he showed it in one play. And I just think that if this can translate into real game action outside of the preseason, and the kid can stay on the field, obviously, I just think I don't want to say it like that, but they replaced Gardner Johnson with a highly replicable player if it works out.
Yeah, you know what? Looking at this play, this is good communication on the back end from a lot of young guys, because whoever this bottom corner is,
right? It's Dory, who's a veteran, so he should know where to be.
I'm thinking my head is telling me that he's yelling to pass that off.
Yes.
Or drag, or yelling something out. And even this, and even the linebacker, I'm going to say that's Trotter. It looks like
Trotter's the one that overcommitted because Campbell's the one that follows him to the end zone.
Yeah, but I think Trotter's hand is pointing.
Yep.
I want to say that's Trotter's hand pointing. So good communication, good recognition by the guys. And even, you put your player in a good position. He drives on the ball hard. He's got nowhere to go, really. It's just a bad throw. Should have been a throwaway, or get, run up and get a couple of yards. Yeah, he should have took it. And run to the sideline and get.
He was dealing with a banged up hammy though, so I mean,
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, like you said, I think it's a great play. I think in my head, he is your starter day one. Day one starter will be.
I think he should be, but I think fans need to come with the understanding that this is a trial by fire.
Oh, for sure.
And
young defense.
The youngest in the league starting. So, I mean, Zach Bond, as far as I understand, aside from Adoree Jackson, if we talked about starters today, let's say Keeley starting on the opposite side, right? Let's just speak in that term. Zach Bond would be the only starter over 25 years old.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is, I mean, coming, from me, you might say something, but as a defensive lineman yourself, I mean, you have that thought in the back of your head. I got a bunch of young bulls behind me. They better do their job, especially in a,
Yeah, but you know what? You have faith in your guys, and you understand that because these guys were so young. Carter was a rookie last year.
Oh yeah.
Nolan Smith only 2 years in. This is Nolan's third year. I'm trying to think who else is on there on that up front. Now Davis has been around for a little bit. Ojomo, is this his second year? Is this second or third year? Third year.
He was a 7th round pick.
I guess so. Only up the front is really Carter, is the young fella.
No, Carter's same draft as Ojomo, and I believe Ojomo might be younger because he came out at like 20 or 21. He came out. He started college at like 17. He's a bit of a unique story, but Davis is the second youngest starter on the defense.
Okay.
At 26.
So they know the trial by fire, like they know. All of them know. So I'm sure that they're Cooper in the back end, right? Telling Mukuba as well. So
Blankenship's the guy I mentioned to you before, who is the big voice on the back end.
Yeah, right.
Blankenship has a lot to do with getting everybody in place. Fingers crossed his extension gets done before week 1. There's no holdout.
Again, hold, let's stop right there. Stop right there. Let's pull. We gotta pull tape. Because when you come to Victory Mondays, you're getting information and you're getting stuff about your Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles that nobody talks about but us weeks ago. I mean, it sucks that we're ahead of the curve, but I mean, we talked about.
We don't get the viewership because I'm just rambling to Nate, later on.
We did a whole video on Blankenship.
they're going to extend Blankenships. I don't know what you're talking about,
We did a whole video on Blankenships extension and what that might look like.
I just think that he's his contract's very unique. I went into this in another video. I'm sure, we could go more.
We can find the archives. Yeah.
Blankenship, though, should be viewed as a key contributor to the defense. And as far as I understand, he is one of the key vocal leaders. And as with Nakobe out, I probably key Reed in as the next man, the next voice up. I'm not going to say next man up, the next voice up, the next guy that is putting guys into place, doing what they need to do, pre-snap. You know what I mean? Just understanding things. Relaying the call as an inside linebacker is one thing. To understand what needs to happen in that play and where everybody needs to be is something else, and that's where Reed specializes.
Oh, look at that! It's blank. It was a month ago. Yeah. Let me bring up the link here.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I understand, that thing should be wrapped up hopefully before week 1. I don't see it dragging into the season, but if it does, I know Reed's not worried about it. So,
yeah, for those who just want to take a look, I dropped the link after the show, of course. After the show, there's a link to Reed Blankenships. I guess should have put there. We broke down Reed Blankenships contract. That was a month ago. Put that in there. But I agree. And looking at the back end, we talked about Mukuba, we talked about the ball skills, we talked about the trial by fire. Obviously, his other counterpart with Reed Blankenship in that situation, and you guys can look at that video as well. But what I'm hearing now and seeing it across other social media platforms is CB2. And what I'm hearing, and let me know if you're seeing the same thing, is Mr. Cooper DeJean starting to get more looks in base defense.
That's been something that's been going on since the start of OTAs.
Yeah.
I believe today was the very first media attended practice, in which case he did play in base. But from what I understand, he's been in base. He's been the base outside corner. I actually believe I touched on that on a previous show. But regardless, we ran like 5% base or something like that, like 50 total plays. I think it was less than that in base last year. So I wouldn't put that out as a, like a save all, end all, be all, save all, because you need a guy to play nickel. Cooper at outside, I don't like that. I would rather see him at safety and Mukuba and the nickel if they were going to do something like that. Mm-hmm. And then they figured out something at cornerback too. I actually brought this up for the show. I had the snap counts from the Browns game, and Adoree played 21 snaps, 32%. Keeley played 30 snaps, 45%. New guy from the Raiders, Jacorian Bennett, played 35 snaps, 53%. Got a little banged up with a shoulder injury. What's interesting here is rookie Mac McWilliams, 35 snaps, 53%. He is started at nickel, which is really his ideal role, and then he's been learning outside and inside. McWilliams is the rookie out of Central Florida. We talked about him a little bit. I like McWilliams. I think that they got good value on McWilliams. But I'm going to go ahead and just say it flat out. If week 1 comes and their options are Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, and Jacorian Bennett, I don't think the week 18 cornerback 2 is on the roster at this point. If they're going to ride with it, that's fine. And I think if they ride with it, then their faith is their defensive line. I think that they think that with Carter, with Davis, with Ojomo, with rookie Ty Robinson, undrafted free agent from last year out of Baylor, Gabe Hall, great size. He's like 6'6", 295. The dude has come on really well. I think that had something to do with the Thomas Booker trade. I think it also says a lot about how they're handling corner. If I had to guess, they're more worried about will Mukuba be ready week 1 than they are about outside corner 2. However, the rumblings and the little birdies continue to say that, kind of on the John Mechie thing, Howie Roseman isn't stopping. I think one thing to discuss is they have 13 picks dialed up for next year, and I'd like any fan to find me 13 open roster spots on this team. They're just not there. This team is not in need for 13 rookies in the next cycle. So we're not talking first-round picks, second-round picks. We're not talking about trading for, a big-time name. I would suspect more something along the lines of like the Jacorian Bennett thing, where you find a young guy who – and let me just sprinkle a little something here on Jacorian Bennett.
Tell the people
the Raiders were the worst secondary in football last year. So they were willing to let go of a guy that was a part of the previous regime, don't get me wrong, but was a part of the worst secondary in football. Some would say he was the most talented corner on that team. They gave him away for a defensive lineman. And when I say gave him away, they literally traded him straight up for Thomas Booker. Now, Thomas Booker was the backup nose. He was the backup 0-1 on this team. From what I understand, Jalen Carter is probably going to man that role as they want to see more snaps out of Davis. And Ty Robinson, the rookie out of Nebraska, has also been able to take that role, which opened up the door for Booker to leave and Bennett to come in. Nate has been a notorious Keely Ringo hater, and it's looking like you're right, but I got to clarify with Bennett. He's just a shorter Ringo when it comes to his issues. They run fast in a straight line. They test off the charts, but when it comes to flipping the hips and going, they just don't seem to get it. When they're at the ball, at the point of attack, when it's aggressive and it works, it works. It's great. Yeah. But a lot of times it's passing interference calls or let up touchdowns and let up. I take no grain of this in the Keely Ringo versus Jamar Chase matchup. That was, I think, exactly what Vic said. If anything, the biggest mistake Ringo made was over pursuing on the tackle and not even getting a hand on Chase.
Hold on, before you finish that, I'm glad you dropped that name. Let's see what Vic said about the QB battle going so far.
Not really. I mean, they're close. Usually it does become pretty obvious to everybody as to who's going to win the job. That hadn't happened yet. I think they all have done a good job in and of their own way. Had good moments, not so good moments. So we haven't reached that conclusion yet.
He is usually a very honest man. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I was about to say he's usually pretty transparent.
Vic is about as blunt as it can be. He straight up admitted he never watched film on Adoree Jackson, and he admitted that he watched some of Bennett with the Raiders, which means after they traded for him, he watched some film of
exactly.
If he even did, let me clarify, if he even did watch the film. So I would say that we have a show next week where we're going to talk about my 53 and kind of talk about some nuances within that. I want to say one thing, and I talked about it with Terrace Marshall, who with the John Mechie trade has kind of been bumped down the list. Adoree Jackson is a vested veteran in the NFL. That means he has 4 more accrued seasons of 6 games played on whatever list, blah, 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 blah. The point is that if he's willing and his agent are willing, they could play a roster tango game where he could start off on the practice squad, which doesn't guarantee his contract that he signed in the offseason for the whole season, and they could renegotiate a deal and wait till, unfortunately, somebody gets hurt or somebody plays themselves off the 53.
Right.
Now, there are multiple guys. I got a list of those guys. We'll drop those next week. But Adoree is one of them. And so right now, dude, I'm going to be straight up with you. I see cornerback 2 as like, okay, if you put Bennett out there, Jackson or Ringo, maybe Mick Williams. I doubt that. Vic doesn't tend to throw rookies to the fire like that. I don't see a guy that I'm confident in to hold it down like Slay did. Now, we're not looking for that guy. We just need a guy that's competent. So I double back. I sit there and I go, I still don't know.
Who's number 2 right now?
It's changed every day, dude. It's changed every day. I mean, Adoree and Keely have an almost even first team snap share, and Bennett cracked the first team like a little bit. He's Bennett starting week 1 for those who were talking about it. You're asking the same defensive coordinator to start a guy who wasn't with the entire offseason program. You're talking about the same guy that played Avonte Maddox over Cooper DeJean for 4 weeks. Just because Maddox was there and Maddox knew the defense.
Yeah.
DeJean was obviously, off the bus, DeJean is more physically capable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's who does Vic trust? And
that's why I said Coop, man. That's why I said Coop.
The way he's talking about these guys, but when you play Coop, then you need a nickel that he trusts. So now let's say the best nickel on the team would be Mukuba. So you move Mukuba down. Now you need a safety. Now you have Sidney Brown there. Maybe he doesn't want Sidney there.
No, I don't.
On Justin Simmons, no, that doesn't fit. He plays just like Reed.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's all about fit. And the Eagles are constantly tossing every name that comes out just because they're the Eagles, and I Rosen makes calls to check on everything.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think we'd be dumb to say there's not an issue at cornerback too. Like I said, the way I think they view it is I think they believe it very similar to 2017. Last year, we were blessed to win a Super Bowl with Darius Slay and Quinyon Mitchell. It's almost as if it was 2004 all over again. We had legitimate secondary. We won the bowl.
Yeah.
Dude, it was Jalen Mills, 7th-round pick, and Ronald Darby. We were outside corners in Super Bowl.
Well, Darby has starter experience now.
No, well, he was a high pick that we had to get away. But 7th-round pick Jalen Mills, Ronald Darby, and camp disaster Patrick Robinson played in the slot. Let's not forget Patrick Robinson was
give Pat some love.
Love to Pat Robinson.
That Vikings pick C started it all off.
Pat Robinson makes me give Keely Ringo hope because his camp has been so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Because as a GM, I'm looking at Keely Ringo and I go, dude, you're a fucking specimen. You're 6'2", 2 and some change. You run 4.3 in a straight line? Why the can't you flip your hips? My God,
Some people just don't got. Well, here, let me ask you this question, bro. Let me ask you this question. Even the people joining now watching. Is QB2 on this team right now?
No, I was into that. Well, for week 1, maybe. But long term, no. But Dory Jackson's on a 1-year deal. Ringo.
He'll be around.
I think he's going to be here and assume the Isaiah Rodgers of last year because Ringo was a Pro Bowl special teamer last year. He was on the ballot. He was a Pro Bowl gunner.
Yeah.
He did not make Pro Bowl, but he was on the ballot. Similar as Josh Jobe the years before.
As he should be.
And he was really good at it. He had a couple
he was a decent gunner.
I really think the guy to watch is not Jacorian Bennett. I think it's Mac McWilliams.
It's McWilliams. Yeah.
I think that this kid internally, as far as the offense,
isn't he short though, right? He's small. He's a little bit smaller.
5'11", but he's 5'11", but he's got a 200-pound frame. He's built like a true nickel. He is built like a.
He's
true
got
nickel.
some bunnies though. I thought he can play.
He's athletic. He can do it, but there's a reason. Dude, Vic, who in my opinion, Vic Fangio today is one of the top 5 DCs in the league. We don't have to talk about who's the best, but he's top 5 without question.
Yeah.
He started the kid off at nickel, and he does not like to put a lot on the younger guys' plates.
Mm-hmm.
So McWilliams at nickel, I like it. That's his natural position. That's where he should be.
Yeah.
To play him at the outside, I think that shows more desperation from the organization than it does McWilliams striding in success.
Makes sense. No, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense, man. I think it's going to go down to the wire. It's been a while. I think.
Well, we were going to start. What was his name? Anthony Harris. Until we made the Gardner Johnson trade, and he was able to come in and play week 1 when everybody said he couldn't learn the defense. There's no way he can match, carry, deliver week 1. Blah, blah, blah. He played and he was just fine. So I don't have a name. I don't have anybody to even poke around that. Dude, I've texted people. I've tried to contact some people about it. Like Howie was bragging about on the interview with BUSTS and the boys about, how tight knit they're keeping everything. That's their new thing. Is very New England-esque, very Belichick era-esque. Just everything's close knit. You know what I mean? It's nothing. Nothing should leak out. If it leaks out, you're the problem. And so they.
No, go ahead.
Well, so they've made a couple. They've made 2 deals in this camp. But I just kind of want to say that I don't think either or has shifted any pendulums for me. I think that they were just moves to be made because they were there.
Yeah, I know you don't. Not a big fan of PFF, but I'll just bring it up.
Well, yeah, they got Eli Ricks there as the highest graded corner on the. AJ Woods because he has no grade.
Yeah, he's got no grade. But I just wanted to bring up the roster, right, and just minus the grades that PFF does. I just like the format.
I will put this one thing: this staff absolutely despises Eli Ricks. I don't know why. He has played well at outside corner. My suspicion is that he's light frame and lack of tackling ability is the issue.
Yeah. He's hit or miss from what I've seen in the preseason. He's hit or miss.
So if you go to the corners there, Johnson via Duke, Oregon, now with the Eagles. Johnson's a nickel only. Perry Nickerson should be on there, nickel only. And AJ Woods is nickel only. So take those guys out, and now you have your question for outside corner. Mac McWilliams technically should be the backup nickel, but let's put him in the conversation.
Yep.
So Quignon's your number one. Now you have DeJean, you have McWilliams, you have Bennett, you have Castro Fields, you have Ringo and Ricks. Out of that group, like I said, just nobody is. You remember when Ricks, what was it, 2 preseasons ago, he had the pick 6 on the Ravens?
Yep.
And he kind of made the roster off that?
Yep.
No one's done that. So they don't have a Darius Cooper, shout out to Tarleton State guy. They don't have that on at corner. They've got guys that are there, but they don't have anybody that is,
And to your point with what you're explaining, it's kind of, I think, reiterating what Vic said. Like, everybody's done okay in what they do well. But nobody's
going to bash. He's not going to bash the young guys.
Right.
I would say that you could let me put this out here. If Adoree Jackson came here to be the starter, right, which he wasn't a starter last year, so he's not going to do it, right? He played as a Giants backup last season. Don't you think Vic would have highlighted some things about Adoree through this offseason? He would have said, man, Adoree's having a good camp. Adoree this, Adoree that. He went into a whole spiel about how Adoree has never made it with the Giants or the Titans and that he has to prove to somebody that he's here to stay. Dude, we're talking about a 30-year-old corner. Like, this dude was a former first-round pick. If you're talking about him like he's a schmuck trying to make the roster, like, it's you don't have to hear me say it. Go watch the interviews, man. Vic will tell you. He is wide open about this stuff. I mean, he went on a spiel about Booker. They were asking questions about Ja'Cory and Bennett. He went on to talk about how much he's going to miss Booker. I mean, it's, you're not going to change the guy.
He's such an old school guy, man. I love
it. Dude, he is one of the things that gives me hope about football because he is – I feel like old school watch ESPN interviews, Is this guy good? Yeah, he's okay. We're really going to, just play defense. And defense is going to be defense because defense is defense. And it's like 10-4, Vic. You're really letting them know.
So usually they keep what, 6 or 5?
5 or 6.
5 or 6. So we got our 2 for sure.
Well, let's talk about Adoree here. So if you take Adoree off, there's 5. So you have Quignon, you have Cooper.
Yep.
You would have Ja'Cory and Bennett if you want to add him as the 3.
Yep.
Right? You would have Keely Ringo, and then you have Mac Williams. That's just 5.
So Eli and Adoree are on chopping block.
I think at this point, Eli Ricks maybe be claimed off waivers, but I would say it's minimal. I think he's just a college name at this point. I think he would be able to get to the practice squad. But now they've protected him the past 2 years. I think this is the year they finally let him go. And
then do you think, let me ask you this, starting, and we'll get more into it once we kind of because we'll have another no.
Yeah, we got one more show. Final 53 is next Tuesday, so our Monday show. That's my show, Nate. That's my show. It's my show. The one show a year.
So 50. So what is the next game? Is it Friday? They play the Jets Friday?
Saturday. No, Friday. Yeah, Friday 7:30, I think. Play the Jets.
Okay. So, and when does the 53 come out? Do you know? Do you have
Tuesday? So next Tuesday.
Oh, well, look at that! Right before.
Yeah.
Right before. So, I guess the question is, will Adoree and Keely Ringo both be on this team?
I think the question is, will both be? And if both are, then that will tell you that they don't have an answer to whatever that problem is.
Understood.
They're not going to cut Bennett because he hasn't been around long, so they're going to give him a chance.
That makes sense.
And like, I'm kind of with you on the Ringo thing. Like, I think his special teams prowess alone, like, looking at Jackson doesn't return punts. Jackson doesn't return kicks. Jackson doesn't play gunner. He's not going to do that at 30 years old. So,
Yep.
If you remember last year, Isaiah Rodgers, who was the fourth corner who beat out Keely Ringo, he was there because he did kick returns.
Yeah.
And you have to take that special teams prowess into your final 53.
So defensively, so far, preseason heroes, because I think that's all we have defensively, is obviously Mukuba, and I think because Campbell had that one sack, kind of that's what you want to see those guys flash. You want to see them flash.
And I include like off-season practices.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in there. He's had a really good camp. Trot he's been everywhere he's supposed to be. His lack of frame doesn't matter when he's in the right place at the right time. Very, very TJ Edwards-esque of the way he plays. Like it's almost like we let one guy walk out the door and his spinning image came in next. You know what I mean? Like he really, I don't know. Trot's just had a 56-17. My God,
right, that'd be beautiful.
I don't think that's happening. All right,
Thursday, 57 is crazy.
Yeah, 56.
57 is wild. We eat money.
Yeah, it's crazy. But hey, I'm all for it. I don't give a damn. I'm all for it.
I'm all for it too. The week would be fantastic.
Oh man, talk about I get to watch that weekend of football being like, y'all fucking ain't shit. You know what I mean?
Shit.
56 on them boys. I don't know, man. I just think that Trot had I thought Trot's been good. I mentioned Gabe Hall earlier. He's going to be on this 53. He was mentioned by Vic after the Booker trade. And he tried to throw in Byron Young there. I'm actually curious what you think of Byron Young, if you could go back and watch a little bit of that game.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch. I didn't get a chance to watch. I only saw the highlights.
If you could, we'll touch on it maybe before next week's show.
But he'll play a lot this game, because this is going to be the game coming up would be the roster battle game, right?
Yeah, and I think Young would be in that competition. I think Hall will play. There's a chance Hall gets pulled, but he should play the whole game. Darian Kennard from last year, Eagles guard tackle from the Chiefs. I believe he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion now. I think every year he's been in the league, he's won the Super Bowl. Lucky charm, bro. Yeah. But he didn't take a single regular season snap until week 18 last year, but was rostered on the 53. Mm-hmm. So I think Gabe Hall could be that kind of guy where he plays every preseason snap or a lot of them and then still makes the team. Byron Young, former 3rd-round pick out of Bama. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, not to knock him. I haven't seen anything. I would have to, if anything, I'd consult you and ask you, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I haven't seen any reps yet. I got to see.
And so that's one of those things.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that we need to talk about, in length. He did play 55% of the snaps last game at 36. He was the 3rd most played player on defense against the Browns.
When I hear something like that, that tells me if I'm the player, like that was my shot, almost. Like I got a good look
this week and next week. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of how they That's kind of how they rotate. So Young with 36 snaps, for instance. Jacob Sykes, who is the Harvard grad via the USFL or UFL, whatever it is now, getting some reps in for the preseason. He played 30 snaps. So Young got the start. Gabe Hall played 33, 50% of the total snaps. Young with that 36. Ty Robinson played 37. So, I think that's more of Vic trying to get the
I want to see more of him. I know he got the sack, which is always exciting. I think he got it from the nose too.
He needs to develop.
It came into him, but he needs to develop. He has
the same issue that Davis has, where they get stood up too early. Being that tall.
He's all upper body when you see him. He's all upper body. Not saying he doesn't have any legs, but he
heard that.
What'd you say?
His nickname is the Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah.
He's the Vanilla Gorilla, who I believe had like a croc. No, he had a camel. He raised a camel in college.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
that guy just fits
I know
this
what
team.
you're saying.
You know what I mean? There's nothing I can say. I mean,
You heard
it's
about the
the team.
farm boys, but I don't know about camels.
Yeah, Cam Jurgens making his own, beef jerky, that
Yeah.
old beef Jurgens. Like, that's great and all, but I heard Ty Robinson raised a camel. I was like, is that legal? Like, Jesus, that sounds intense. But hey,
hey.
I think he fits. I think a lot of Ty Robinson is why they were willing to let go of Booker, because he does show that 0-1. I want to say 0-1-3, but I mean, you know what I mean. He really should be more.
He needs to develop. I mean, he's going to have fresh legs. He's going to have he's got a high motor. When we're looking at his Nebraska stuff, and he had a knack to get to the quarterback, from the zero tech, which you typically don't say. He's more of a hybrid, a little bit. You usually see the hybrid end tackles, but he's a hybrid where you could kick him out if you wanted to. Not saying he's Fletch. He's nothing like Fletcher Cox.
No,
but Fletch had the flexibility to be able to push outside if he wanted to, because he was athletic enough to do it. You know what I mean? But Fletch was also, people don't understand, Fletch was a big defensive. He was a leaner. He was built top up, but he was an athletic defensive end.
Did you see the
just our
picture of him
defensive
in camp?
tackle. What'd you say?
Did you see the picture of him in camp?
Yeah, he's skinny. He's lean. He's leaned up. I didn't see him in the picture in camp. I saw him on his drag racing thing that he does.
Yeah.
I
follow him through that stuff. So
and he's lean.
You got to be light driving cars, man. Every pound counts.
No, they all do that. They all just
the lineman. I don't know if you saw Brandon Brooks. My goodness, he was a beast. He was just massive. I mean,
So I have a friend who is Brandon Brooks's business partner. So I actually hang with Brandon. Not hang, but I've been around. Let me say, I've been around Brandon Brooks in a public scene. Like, we're all together. He's part of the party, and he's definitely lost a lot of weight for sure.
Yeah, but he looks like he's been putting on LBs too.
I haven't seen him lately. A
lot of mass though. He looks good. I mean, he looks good, man.
We were together on the who did not Danny Garcia. Who's the kid? Who's the fighter? Are you a boxer fan?
Shakur Stevenson?
No. This is a Puerto Rican dude.
Oh, you're talking about the dude from Philly?
No, not Danny Garcia.
Okay.
What's his name? Is he Mexican? Mexican boxer, younger guy, kind of like a pretty boy. He's kind of went crazy.
Ryan Garcia?
Is it Ryan Garcia? Yeah, Ryan Garcia. It was a Ryan Garcia fight. I forget, and it was
Gervonta
the one.
Davis?
No, it was the one he won, but he was supposed to lose when he moved up in weight. And they caught. This is the one he caught him from cheating. They said he took steroids.
Devin Haney? Did he fight?
Was it Haney? I think it was Haney. Yeah, it was the Haney fight. We were in we were in New York, because I think it was at the Barclays Center. I think that fight was at the Barclays Center.
Sure, yeah, it was a big fight.
Yeah, it was because he won. He literally came into the club where we were at. He sat right across from us, got on the couch. No, bro, he's literally 5'7". He is small.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that small. Like, he is small. I was like, who is this little dude? Because, everybody turn, cameras come out, everybody go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm like, oh, that's shit. I was like, that's Ryan Garcia over there. And he's tiny. I'm like, damn, he's small. I mean, we're all 6'4" and up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my one boy's 6'7". My other boy's 6'5". So we're all, monsters on the side. But then look at this little boy. He gets up, does this little thing real quick. No bullshit. He was in there and out of there in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was for him to be there. He came in, showed his face, and he got the F out. It was the fun. I was like, damn, talk about a money grab.
Oh, I do the same thing, bro. They put me in that position. I'm on there, get that bag, and I'm leaving.
Did a little thing, did a little high, took a little picture.
He
he was out, bro. It was crazy. I was like, oh, I thought he was, because they usually come. He just won the fight. Like, he wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, he was a dog in that fight, and he won the fight. But I digressed a little bit. But to Brandon Brooks, to your point, Brandon Brooks he's a little bit shorter than me, but I didn't really he was sitting down when we were talking and stuff, but I felt like, I'm like, yeah, you're not as tall as me.
Brooks is the guy that paved the way for I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I'm
Lane?
they're not literal. Well, I was going to say Mekhi Becton last year making the switch to guard. That was one of the things that Stout had actually mentioned was if Brooks can do it, why can't Becton? And I thought that was really cool, of just being like, well, look, dude, just, I get he's too big, but who's to say he can't? And I've always appreciated that from Stout. But, I mean, Brooks's development here is one of the best.
What's up, Mr. Walker?
What up, Marcus? But Brooks is one of those guys, dude. I think he's going to go down as one of the most underappreciated Eagles for that run.
I agree. No, for sure.
Because he really was coming out of free agency. I mean, I think Howie's biggest free agent hits are probably Brooks and Malcolm Jenkins. And as far as building
I would agree. I would agree because when Brooks was here,
I mean, Houston threw him away, dude. Like they didn't want to do with him.
It's just something about Stoutland because every time we get a trade or guard in, he turns them into the best guards in the league. Like Brooks,
what we have in Mailata and Dickerson was better with Johnson and Brooks, and I know that's hard for some people to understand, but Johnson and Brooks were disgusting. I mean, that right side of that line was ridiculous.
Who was the leaner white guy with the hair? Evan Mathis? Was it Evan Mathis?
Yeah, I mean, Evan Mathis would have been the leaner white guy with the hair. Or, I mean, how far you want to
get? I'm just saying, like he was a trade. I think he was a trade, and he became one of the best guards, if not the best guard in the league.
Mathis was a great example. Becton hasn't done well with the Chargers, but I mean he's dealing with some personal issues. But
what I'm saying is just that the guards here have been phenomenal.
But I think what you were getting at is a lot of them have been tackle converted in a sense at some point.
Right.
Due to their size, you're not. I mean, as much as people want to say, "Oh, you've been playing guard his whole life." No, when you're 6'6", 320, you're playing tackle.
I saw Mathis walking through Vegas. I was in the Wynn, going to where was I going? I think I was going to a poker tournament. And I saw Evan Mathis. Well, I was like, shit, that's Evan Mathis. I'm like, God damn, he's big as hell. He is a legit 6'6", for sure. He is a legit 6'6".
The best thing was I stayed at the Eagles Hotel when they played the Raiders in Vegas for the first time. And watching fans get tricked by Mailata's family telling him that they were Jordan Mailata because nobody knew what Mailata looked like. And then finally Mailata comes down. And you're at the bar looking over and you're going, oh, my God. That guy plays left tackle? Like, who is getting in this man's way? Like, I mean, dude, he is legitimately 6'9". They say 6'7", 6'8". They measured him at Eagles camp. The dude is 6'9". I mean, I am 6'4" and some change. And I was like, what's up, man? But the best thing I can tell you about Mailata, not trying to dive into some little stuff, but family was awesome. They all played the part. When you got the joke, as long as you went along with the joke, that this is Jordan, his brother, come on, man, whatever. And the people were too drunk to understand what was going on. So it was dope, dude.
That's dope. That's dope.
But just talking about like seeing a human that big, that was pretty wicked. I was also on the sideline when I was a kid, and I was accidentally pregame, and I was blocking the Ravens exit tunnel, like when they walk out, and Ed Reed picked me up and moved me to the side. And I just remember like standing there, just being like, like toss, like bro, like a bag of trash, bro. Like it's just
animals, bro.
And I look over, my guys are smacking me. He's like, bro, that was Ed Reed, man. That was Ed Reed. And I'm like, whoa, just you get out there and you see them on the field, they're different. So
no, it is cool.
A guy like Mailata, Evan Mathis, Mekhi Becton, Landon Dickerson at 6'6", 335, which is probably an understatement.
I'm about to say light. He's probably
gets knee surgery and then brings beer to the practice the next day. Mm-hmm. I'm all for it. Like this offensive line and this defensive line, I think have truly stamped themselves. I know they have been, but I think that nationally they've stamped themselves as the standard for Philadelphia. And I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a big statement. Big statement. So we talked about on the first end of this, QB2 Mukuba, CB2 Mukuba, but then the big news came. Howie at it again. Brought the boys back together.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Mechie's a really good bottom roster, but bottom of the room receiver. There's no, I just want to clarify, there is no kick return. There is no punt return prowess for Mechie. He's an undersized slot or Y. He's an undersized slot flank, and he's a more than willing blocker. From what I understand, and I'm not going to read it verbatim, from what I understand, this was a opportunity to add a player who was an immediate cultural fit, and a guy that does whatever he is told by the coaches, no matter his pedigree. From what I understand, the Niners were interested. I don't know what the fuck they were offering, because apparently the Eagles came over the top, offering Harrison Bryant for John Mechie and offering to re-swap the picks from the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson deal, which ultimately boils down to Harrison Bryant and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson traded for Kenyon Green and John Mechie. Doesn't sound that great.
I like Bryant too. I think Harrison Bryant was a small, like in maybe a year or two, he can play.
Well, Bryant's been around for a while, and he was clearly beat out by Kylan Granson and E.J. Jenkins. E.J. Jenkins seems to be the forgot about name in the tight end room, who was rostered all last year.
The kid with the dreads, right? The kind of.
Yeah, he's the converted receiver out of Georgia Tech, 6'6", 265.
Yeah, I think
definitely a guy you want to make work if you can at tight end, and he's gotten a lot better at blocking. Bryant was an expendable piece. I would look at the Jacorian Bennett trade, the Booker for Bennett, with more weight than I would look at the addition of Mechie. As much as I hate to say it, I cannot guarantee Mechie even makes his football team.
Wow. I'm surprised at you saying that, because I got the gem that he was a restricted he'll be a restricted free agent.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
that sounds like trade bait to me. Or they can tender him and get something.
If you were
back.
to add Mechie and you were talking trade bait, then you would be trading Jahan Dotson, which is
that's not happening.
If they did, and I've heard rumblings about it, if they did, that just it wouldn't make any sense to me. Dotson has come on strong this camp. He's had a full offseason with the program. He buys into the program wholeheartedly. If anything, this says more to Ainias Smith and the ascension of Darius Cooper than it does anybody else on the roster. The way I look at this is the roster now is Brown, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, John Mechie, Johnny Wilson, and then it's Ainias Smith versus Darius Cooper for wide receiver 6.
So as a perfect segue, right? We got the list up here.
Yeah.
And they even did a good job. They got his number. I know he just got his number 80. Which I saw, I think, earlier today when I was doing.
Yeah, the trade had to get finalized. So the trade wasn't finalized till this afternoon.
So let's call out. You said the 3, right? AJ Brown and Jahan. AJ Brown, Smith, Jahan Johnson. Okay, so there's your 3.
Yep.
Wide receiver 4.
Johnny Wilson's a lock.
A lock.
Johnny Wilson is a lock to make the team. At his size, he allows hybrid tight end versatility, H-back versatility, which he showed in certain lineups last year. Johnny Wilson is a lock to make the team.
Lock to make the team. Does it have anything to do with his coming out party? And he might just be a game.
Absolutely nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
It has more to do with how he blocked last season than anything else.
Okay. Is Johnny Wilson a gamer? I just can't do shit in practice.
Johnny is probably going to end up moving to tight end next year. He's just a draft pick that they're not going to let go, but he does the dirty stuff well, and he does it without lip. So,
what round was that? Was that 3rd or 4th? Oh no, he was a 6th round pick. Damn, wow.
Yeah, 6th round pick because a nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's 4. Wide receiver 5. I'm assuming this is
Mechie or Wilson. I mean, they're interchangeable there.
Okay.
Now, for the first time in years, the Eagles actually have legitimate depth at wide receiver and have a question, and they are now forced to keep 6, in which they usually keep 5. 6 will now be a special teamer, like I said, in which case it is Ainias Smith versus Darius Cooper, who's not.
So Avery Williams is out of the picture, right? That's
Avery Williams has done nothing.
Nothing.
Avery Williams has done nothing.
And then I think Elijah Cooks got hurt. I want to say. I feel
he did get hurt, but he's a perfect practice squad player. He should revert to the practice squad without issues.
Okay.
Williams has done nothing in camp. Williams was signed as a primary returner.
Yeah, and then they moved him right running back. He was receiver.
Yeah, he played running back, DB. Now he's a receiver. He has done nothing. This is a great question. I'm actually there's a really good bit. I can't remember the guy's Twitter handle right now. But basically it was comparing Darius Cooper to Pierre Garçon. And instead of Paul Turner, I think Paul Turner was more of a hype in the preseason. But as far as
I don't remember Paul Turner. Who's Paul Turner?
Paul Turner's a preseason stud, former preseason stud of the Eagles.
What year? Like how long ago are we going back?
I want to say like around. I couldn't tell you what year Paul Turner was. I'm pretty sure it's after Hank Baskett.
Oh wow!
Just,
We're going back.
Yeah, I mean, just you know what I mean. Like Paul Turner he ended up making a little bit of a career, but for Marcus's question though, the comp that I have read that I liked the most was Darius Cooper is Pierre Garçon, another former Washington receiver. The comp is pretty wicked. This is a former quarterback turned receiver who played at Tarleton State, had like 1,500 yards receiving, 14 touchdowns, something like that. He's made a couple highlight plays in practice. Cooper has gotten some run with the ones as well. As far as any like undrafted free agent goes, this is the dude.
So I'm when I see him I want to see more of him because I saw separation speed, I saw strong hands, but that was it. I didn't really see nothing.
We saw that
running.
The game before when Tanner McKee was playing quarterback, but when DTR and Kyle McCord are out there, everybody looks like shit. So
yeah,
you can't really take that into account.
Yeah.
What'll be the big thing going into the game 3 with Darius Cooper is how much does he play? If he goes out there and he plays a bunch, then
he's on the bubble.
Becomes in question. Yeah. But if for some reason he's not on the field,
then he made the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made the team for sure. Yeah, and I remember, and I love the fact that Smith said I had to go to YouTube, right? Like I had to go to YouTube and look at the kid, and he said he's a freak. He said he's a freak of nature.
I mean, I've seen some plays in practice that he's made that are pretty. He's one of those naturally talented receivers. I'm gonna put it like this: he does some things without effort that are like.
Is this a FCS team? Like, where is where is this? Is it
I don't know if they grade them like that anymore. I'm pretty sure they're Division I. They are the Tarleton State Texans. I don't know out of what city in Texas, but they are from Texas.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. They play North Alabama. They play.
Marcus is right. They have been calling him Baby AJ, and from what I understand, AJ Brown has taken him under his wing, and they've been pretty close. So
good for him.
Yeah.
No shit, Texas.
He's been a spot, dude. Like he's done some things in practice that he shouldn't do.
Because I think now, granted, it's PFF, right?
They're not going to have anything on Cooper. They don't.
No, they're not going to have him. But I do. I don't mind this thing they do here with the.
Oh yeah, it's like Madden, except
it's like Madden. Even though they're wrong. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard Dickerson might start. I personally don't think Dickerson should start game 1.
Dickerson's playing week 1. He got a meniscus.
I know he's playing week 1, but I don't think he should. But that's just me.
Then he would have got, the Adrian Peterson surgery instead of getting what he did. But he got a trim, not a full.
Yeah,
There's a trim, there's a repair. For anybody that wants to look it up, there's a million doctors on Twitter you can follow. Right. It's all about trim versus repair. Trim is a short-term with long-term risks. A repair is long-term recovery with minimal risk at the end.
They just do 11 and 12 personnel. Okay, I thought they did more. I didn't even look at it. Okay, never mind. I thought they might have did 4 wide or anything.
Oh,
like yeah. But they just do 11 and 12 personnel. Okay, never mind. I thought I'd be able to bring something up. Here in terms of how does Mechie fit is kind of where I'm kind of getting at. Like, how does
Mechie? Like I said, Mechie's not a guarantee to make this team, man. As much as I'm a fan of John Mechie and his story, obviously anybody that's diagnosed with an acute form of leukemia is able to beat it. he suffered a shoulder injury and then was able to come back from that. I think, if anything, maybe post on Facebook the Baldy clip of John Mechie blocking TJ Watt. That's a good one.
I thought it was the clip that I see going around to him is Stingley. And it's just like, people don't understand, like, it's such an unfair matchup for the cornerback. Like, now I'm not saying that Mechie doesn't have great feet, great acceleration, great route
You're
running.
talking about a top 4 corner in the NFL, and you're talking about a guy that might not make a 53. Like, that's.
It's not the one-on-ones like that. It's just not fair. And that short area speed. I mean, he makes him fall a little bit. He does a nice little out, and he creates a lot of space.
That's stuff for YouTube, man. That's stuff
you
for
put that shit in a game. I get money on Stingley shutting his ass down all the time.
It's like the one-on-one videos that go viral for the money giveaways and stuff. It's like, dude, you can do all that shit in the game, but it's like, get off the line. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'd like to see you get off the line doing this step back and all that. I mean, it's not gonna work. Now, the Mechie clip you're talking about, I can't speak to it. I know there's a few clips going around. The one that I would say that I want fans to watch is I want to watch the one that Baldy reposted on X, and it was from 2022 or 2023, and it was him on the outside blocking TJ Watt. That was the one that gave me, like, you know what, like, he's a dirty work guy. I forgot. Like, Mechie just does what he's told, and like I said, the note that I got was this kid just does what the coaches tell him to do. He doesn't have pride. It's not about, who is John Mechie III. It's just about, like, look, dude, I'm here to do a job. I'm about to just go do my job.
So, from your perspective and your professional opinion, as a GM of Victory Mondays, you think that he's on the chopping block?
I think he's one of the primary bubble players. I think there's a group of primary bubble guys that are fighting it out with each other. Do I think he has the higher odds of that group, similar to Corey and Bennett? Yes, I do, because they traded for him. They obviously were willing to look at the player. But they traded for a guy that they understood he missed practice today, so I think there's 2 practices left. I mean, what are you really expecting out of the kid? You have 2 practices with him. So you don't have a whole offseason. You get 2 practices. So, I mean, that's just – let's understand John Mechie is not where they are with Darius Cooper. They almost know what John Mechie is. Darius Cooper is a complete unknown that any team could cut a player and add to their roster because he's subject to waivers. I'd have to double check Mechie's things to see if he's a vested veteran or not. I would have to assume he is vested. Well, this year would make his vested year, so he's probably subject to waivers. But like I don't know. I think Darius Cooper is more of a talking point. Even after last week, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. It's like, man, look at who's playing quarterback. Like, Tanner McKee made him look like A.J. Brown, and then the week after he ran with the ones. So, it's good note there, Marcus, dude. Marcus is on point. We were almost to the day that he traded for Jahan Dotson. That is true.
And it happens. Here's another great segue. You think Howie's done?
No, I mentioned that earlier. He's not done.
He's not done?
No. We still have 13 picks next year. Find me 13 open spots on this roster. Even the 90-man. Find me 13 roster spots that you can replace via the draft.
I got your
if Marcus, I would tell you this, Marcus, if they cut Cooper and he clears waivers for Ainias Smith, I don't think they're making the right decision. I think that would be Howie thinking with his dick and his draft pedigree. And I mean, seriously, like I don't think that is the right decision, because I think Darius Cooper has shown far and above that he is a better wide receiver than Ainias Smith is. Is Ainias Smith a better punt returner today? Sure. But at kick return, no, I don't like Ainias Smith at kick return. Ainias Smith is a punt return slot guy, and you were talking to the guy who stamped him as wide receiver 3 when I was argued that Devontae Parker and Paris Campbell were going to make the team. And then they traded for Jahan Dotson. So you're talking to an Ainias Smith fan. 21 reps on the bench press at 225 pounds, and his frame is very impressive. I'm a fan of his, but
you were a big fan. Yeah, we weren't. I remember that conversation.
I still am a big fan of the player and the person. It's just we're talking about the competition of making the team. And what Darius Cooper has brung is, I mean, dude, this is a good clip here.
There he is. Look at that. Go ahead, boy.
Giving him hell, son. Giving him hell,
Give him
son.
hell. Look at that hole.
Giving him
from
hell,
there.
son.
Right. All you gotta do is get in front of him. That's it.
I was going to say, give him hell, son.
That's all you gotta do is get in front of him. Oh, there it is. There's a drop. Ringo is gone.
DeJean's not the punt returner. No, it would.
Yeah, he's not gonna be punt returner anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
When they need him.
not if Vic Fangio has something to say about it, but Howie Roseman makes final roster call. So.
Yeah.
Throw that flag. Come
Throw the
on,
flag.
man. That was
Come on,
TJ
you gotta
Watt
give
going
him-
against a wide receiver.
He
Jesus
turned.
Christ.
Let's bat it back to the stage. He turned them all the way to the side. Look, his back is to the sideline. There's no
That's
flag.
That's a good play.
That's a
That's
good
clean
play.
right there.
Come on, TJ, get off a fucking block.
Get off your receiver, man. Like, come on.
TJ should be scraping across his face or screaming upfield. No, he can't scream upfield because it's already behind. It's already over there. Get off him. Look at that.
Grab a little face mask there. If that's
No,
fine,
that's a
that's
good play.
fine.
That's a good
Grab him
play.
to the ground, Matchy. It is
That's
what
a
it is. Don't
good
get called
play. He
for it.
turned him. Look at this. Look at this. How you gonna let this little? First of all, why you let this guy? Is that motion down to her?
No,
Yeah.
that's-
First of all, you should the defensive and the outside linebacker and that Sam linebacker. Why are you let these guys get outside contained? Outside linebacker. As soon as he sees that, he's screaming. Like his first step should have been all the way outside.
yeah.
Like it almost should be a blitz.
Yeah.
Right
He's
to the
got the angle
outside.
there.
Like, come
I don't know
on,
who that
man.
is.
This is what I do. You know what I
I don't
mean?
know
This
who
is
the
what
fuck
I
that
do.
is.
And he's slow. Look, everybody has a move before, like he's not even moving. Everybody else is moving. He's still,
Yeah.
his feet are still stuck. Right? He should be screaming down there, and it gives him a natural lane. And it was that maybe a 10-yard.
An unwilling tackler, if you will, Nate.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. This is what I
I
do.
thought it was a good rep, just to show the kid
This is what I do.
has blocking prowess.
You
know? I mean,
motherfuckers
he's-
want to do film. Baldy, you want to do film? I'll show you how to do motherfucking film. I'm a student
though.
of the game.
I thought we did well going over what we went over. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I thought this has been good. We got a good showing tonight. It's been a while since we've been on.
For sure.
We had a good about to talk to. Howie made 2 trades for us to talk about. The Bennett trade, the Mechie trade, we glossed over him. There's no tape or clip that I could text to Nate to make Bennett sound good. So we're not even gonna dwell on that. Just you guys can do your
I
own
don't think he
YouTube
makes the
research.
team.
If I had to guess between Bennett and Mechie, I'm gonna go an absolute 50-50 as to who makes the team.
Because you said he got hurt, right? He just got hurt.
Well, he went back. I believe he came back to the game.
He came back. Has he practiced? I haven't even checked. Has he been practicing?
I'm pretty sure he practiced today. I don't remember.
Like if he's hurt going into the game the next,
then yeah, no, that's a difference.
that's a wrap for that guy.
No, he practiced today in full. AJ Brown, Tariq Castro-Fields, Lewis Seen, Landon Dickerson, Brandon Johnson did not practice. Kenyon Green, Lane Johnson, and AJ Woods were limited. Lane Johnson was just rest.
Before we get out of here, let me ask you this: any concern about AJ Brown and that hamstring?
I am so happy you asked because no, the fuck, there's not. Just go watch him playing QB and running around, acting like he doesn't care. And then Jahan Dotson actually quoted it on Twitter and gave him some funny emojis. AJ's fine. The trade for receiver says nothing about AJ or his current health for week 1. Go look at guys like Lane Johnson today who rested, or Saquon Barkley the week before us who rested, or let's have a bigger concern, Zach Bond's back contusion that lasted, 2.5 weeks. So they are ultra conservative with their star players. And if the star says he's not good to go 100%, they're not going to force it. And I'm going to make a statement that I actually made to a buddy on the phone earlier. If there's ever a time for A.J. Brown to be off the football field and it be a positive, it's now. Because Jahan Dotson's had a great camp. Darius Cooper's come alive. You now have John Mechie you want to throw in the mix. Yep. This is Johnny Wilson's time. This is Anaya Smith's time. This is Terrace Marshall's time. I mean, Devontae's role and AJ's role, they're not, they don't interject. They're separate roles on this football team.
Yeah.
They have separate backups. And I understand wide receiver, but you have an outside X, which is AJ is one of the only players in the NFL who, what did Slay say? Where's he line up? There's no slot. There's no flank.
Mm-hmm.
He lines up at X every single time. I just think this is precautionary. I think there's a little tightness from what I understand. He's just playing it safe.
I hear that. So next week, we won't be playing it safe. 53-man roster.
Wasn't I like 3 players off last year? I wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I don't think you were that bad.
I'm pretty sure, and I've got better. I've actually got 2. I have 2 injured reserve players that I had Naismith on the roster, and he was a sneaky injured reserve player. And the way we're going to refer to that this year is Big Dom just kind of walks through the hallway with a fucking bat, and just kind of looks at you. Is that knee sore? You know, and you're like, yeah, it's sore. You know,
That's
the only way I can imagine it. You know,
I think that where you shine is your practice squad and your IR and your pup, like the deeper end of the 53. Yeah. Anybody can do a 53, especially with this Eagles team, because they're locked and loaded and really, it's not hard, right, to kind of see where they are.
We get competitive with
defense will be not tricky, but the question is how many of each roster spot will they keep? And I think that's where you really shine and you really show why you're the GM of Victory Mondays out here on this Money Pot betting channel.
Tear up, Nate. Jeez.
Man, I had a long fucking weekend, man. I dropped my daughter off for college, so I've been an emotional roller coaster all weekend. Drove all the way to Pittsburgh, drove home. So, you know what I mean?
Oof.
Yeah, man. So, I'm going on fumes. I'm at the end of the rope right now. So
I love it, dude. I love it. I'm stoked though, dude. We had a great show, man. This is honestly like I miss hopping on. Like it's been a while, and like this is dope. I appreciate Marcus throwing in. I wish he would have hopped in a little earlier, Marcus.
Oh, don't worry. We got Marcus.
You're behind us.
Marcus is going to be our first. So here's a nice little shout out. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But we have for our YouTube folks out there, and anybody on Facebook, make sure you go to YouTube. Become a member. We have the membership tiers up. Really, really cheap. One is $1, I think. The second, I think the gold membership is $1. The diamond is $1.99 or $2.99, and then the platinum, which I think everybody's going to love, is coming on live with us for 15 minutes, $9.99. Marcus is already kind of signed up, and he's going to be our first member to come on live and talk birds. So
I'm stoked, dude. I'm stoked.
Monday, the week of, and we got to work out with Marcus. Hopefully it works out. The Monday before season opening on Thursday, Marcus will be on to talk with us birds versus Cowboys. What better? And not even that. He's a military man in motherfucking Texas. How about that? How does that work out? It's beautiful.
Gotta love it. It's
beautiful, baby. That's right. Nothing but platinum, baby. Nothing but platinum, man. So for those who are still with us, hey, man, go run over to YouTube and check out the plans and what you kind of get for the plans. And if you don't want to become a member, that's all cool, man. I appreciate you guys jumping in and talking and watching us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. But until next week, we will do our 53-man predictions and rosters. I'm Moss Money. That's Ernie B. This is Victory Mondays. Have a good night, everybody.